Welcome to A Plus Health Life channel. We discuss the ways to fulfill your life with more quality and inform you on ways to get to your life goals with less effort. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Best things to do in Baltimore. The city of Baltimore is the largest in the state of Maryland and the largest independent city in the United States. There is a huge amount of history behind this fantastic city, and approximately 1 in 3 buildings is listed on the National Register, which is more than any other city in the country. Baltimore has the world-famous Inner Harbor, which is a sight to be seen either at day or night, and a plenty of places to get your fill of live entertainment. There are countless things to do here, so let's take a look at the best things to do in Baltimore. 1. The American Visionary Art Museum. The AVAM was opened in 1984 and was the brainchild of Rebecca Hofberger. The museum was designed to show to the world artwork that was created by self-taught individuals. The artwork on display here is both radiant and transformative. It is unlike artwork you will see in more of the secular art galleries. A huge amount has changed at the museum since its early beginnings. Over 70 weddings take place each year here, and the museum has one of the highest incomes compared to costs in the U.S. 2. Cheer on the Baltimore Orioles. The city of Baltimore comes alive when the Baltimore Orioles have a home game to play. Tens of thousands of people pack into Oriole Park to cheer on their beloved baseball team. The Orioles were at their most successful between 1964 and 1983, when they won 9 division championships, 6 pennants and 3 World Series. The success might not have been as forthcoming since those days, but that does not stop the loyal fans from getting behind their team and having a great day out in the process. Whilst at the game, look out for John Denver's "Thank God I'm a Country Boy," which is always played during the 7th inning stretch. 3. Meet the animals at the National Aquarium. There are nearly 200,000 animals at the National Aquarium, including amphibians, birds, reptiles, and of course fish. For those that really want to experience the aquarium from the other side, you can go on an immersion tour and see things from inside the tank itself. There are dolphin encounters where you can get up close and personal with the dolphins in a teaching and playing session. If sharks are of interest to you, then you can see how the aquarium looks after them with a behind-the-scenes tour. This includes seeing how the food is prepared for the sharks to eat. 4. Enjoy the historical Fort McHenry. Fort McHenry was built in 1798 but is most famous for its role in the War of 1812. During this war, the fort successfully defended Baltimore Harbor from the British Army's attacks. During World War I, the U.S. Armed Forces used the fort again, and in World War II the U.S. Coast Guard used the fort. McHenry is now a designated national park and an exciting Baltimore tourist attraction. In 1814, a garrison flag was flown over the fort, which signaled the American victory over the British. Francis Scott Key saw this and wrote the poem, "Defense of Fort McHenry." This poem finally became known as the Star-Spangled Banner. 5. Get hands-on with the historic ships in Baltimore. As far as collections of military vessels go, this could just be the greatest in the world. You have the U.S. sloop of war Constellation, the U.S. submarine Torsk, the lightship Chesapeake, and the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Taney, the last surviving ship from Pearl Harbor. The stories told within these vessels will keep many a history buff entertained and many a child enlightened. Throughout the year there are many evening events as well as overnight educational programs that are held for the local community to enjoy. 6. See the trains at the B&O Railroad Museum. The most significant collection of railroad items in America are held at the B&O Railroad Museum. There is so much to do at the museum, but perhaps the most fun and interesting is the Mile 1 Express train ride. At certain times you can take a 20-minute trip along the first commercial mile of railroad ever laid in America. This is where railroad in America started. Another fascinating part of the museum is the Ride and Restoration Shop, which will give you a behind-the-scenes look at the restoration facility the museum has to keep all the stock in working order and to restore new pieces. 7. Give the kids a thrill at Port Discovery Children's Museum. If you visit Baltimore in the children's school holidays, then you may be wondering what to do with them for a day out. If that is the case, then a trip to Port Discovery Children's Museum is sure to leave them feeling satisfied. The museum is spread out over 3 floors and features many ever-changing interactive and educational exhibits. The museum is suitable for children aged 0 through 10 and features Tot Trails, Kick It Up, Wonders of Water, Royal Farms Convenience Store and many more exhibitions. 8. The Baltimore Museum of Art. The Baltimore Museum of Art has been collecting artworks for a long time. In 1914 it started with just one piece of art, and over 100 years later its collection stands at 95,000 pieces. The museum showcases 19th-century, modern and contemporary art, including the largest collection of Henri Matisse works in the world. The museum has 210,000 square feet of floor space, and the building itself is also a piece of art by renowned architect John Russell Pope. The museum is completely free to enter, giving you the opportunity to come back again and again. 9. Take a trip to America's first cathedral. America's first cathedral is officially called the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, most commonly known as the Baltimore Basilica. The cathedral was designed by Benjamin Henry Latrobe, who is considered to be the father of American architecture. Construction on the cathedral was completed in 1821 and was consecrated on May 31, 1821 by Archbishop Ambrose Maréchal. The building went through a mass renovation that was completed in 2006 and cost the Catholic Church $34 million. A visit around this beautiful building is highly recommended. 10. Try your hand at manufacturing. The Baltimore Museum of Industry focuses on manufacturing and industry from early 20th century America. The museum has various sections that are hands-on and has both working equipment and artifacts. You will come across a garment loft from 1900, a print shop, a replica pharmacy called Dr. Bunting's, and plenty of other historical places. The museum is happy to host guided tours which include activities for children to get involved in. If you're traveling to Baltimore by bus or train, I suggest using wanderyou.com. For example, check out their page to travel from Boston to Baltimore by bus. 11. Hear the orchestra at Joseph Meyerhoff Symphony Hall. The Baltimore Symphony Orchestra have their home at the Joseph Meyerhoff Symphony Hall. The hall was named after a philanthropist from Ukraine who was the president of the Baltimore Symphony from 1965 to 1983. There is an ever-changing menu of shows to be seen at the hall, and with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra celebrating their 100th birthday, a whole host of special events are sure to be put in the calendar. 12. Explore the history of pop culture at Geppi's. Geppi's Entertainment Museum is a privately owned museum in Baltimore that showcases the history of pop culture in the USA. The collection starts in the 17th century and goes right up to modern day. Approximately 6,000 artifacts are held in the museum, including movie posters, magazines, badges, toys, cereal boxes and trading cards. There are several fixed galleries in the museum, such as A Story in Four Colors. This display features comic books from the modern era as well as many rare historic ones. Each year during Mardi Gras, people meet at Geppi's for the annual Zombie Gras. During this event, people are transformed into zombies before heading out onto the streets of Baltimore. 13. Learn about Baltimore's Jewish history. The leading museum of Jewish regional history is in Baltimore and is called the Jewish Museum of Maryland. The museum is set on a campus that has 3 exhibition galleries that focus on the Jewish American experience. There is the Lloyd Street Synagogue that is the 3rd oldest synagogue in U.S. There are regular events held throughout the year that offer the community of Baltimore an opportunity to learn about the Jewish culture and make new friends. 14. Admire the Washington Monument. The Washington Monument really is a sight to behold. This huge column was designed by the same architect that designed the Washington Monument in Washington. The monument stands at 178 foot tall and can be climbed by walking up the 227 steps to the top. Once at the top, you can enjoy excellent views of the city below. If you are in the city on the first Thursday of December each year, you can enjoy a firework display and the lighting of the Washington Monument, as the annual Christmas lights are switched on. 15. Gaze up at the Phoenix Shot Tower. The Phoenix Shot Tower in Baltimore is one of only a few shot towers left in the United States today. Back in the early 1800s, molten lead would be dropped from the top of the shot tower into a vat of water at the very bottom. As the lead droplets hit the water, they would form perfect spheres and then solidify in the water as they sunk. The shot tower was used from 1828 until 1892 and is constructed from 1 million bricks. At one point it was the tallest building in the United States. 16. Meet the animals at Maryland Zoo. Within Druid Hill Park is the Maryland Zoo, the third oldest zoo in all of America. The zoo first opened in 1876 and is now a major city attraction. The zoo is split into several areas, with the largest being the African Journey. In this section you can see large numbers of animals that originate in Africa. Animals include African elephants, lions, cheetahs, African leopards and many more. Popular with children is the new African Penguin exhibition that houses 60 African black-footed penguins. The penguins live in a recreation of their natural habitat. 17. Get an insight into Edgar Allan Poe's house. Edgar Allan Poe was an American writer and literary critic who lived in Baltimore in the 19th century. The home is fantastically preserved and visitors are welcome at certain times of the year to come and see the house where he lived with his grandmother, aunt and 2 cousins. The house is unfurnished, but the main fabric of the building remains untouched. There are various exhibits that you can look at, including the writing desk and chair that he regularly used. Due to the seasonality of the museum, it is advisable to check the exact opening times before attending. 18. See a live show at the Royal Farms Arena. The Royal Farms Arena is situated on the site that used to be used by the Old Congress Hall. Throughout the years, the arena has played host to many different events ranging from music to boxing, to hockey and to wrestling. The current Royal Farms Arena is unlikely to remain in its current position or state for long, as the city is regularly receiving proposals for a new state-of-the-art arena that could possibly attract an NHL or NBA franchise to the city. 19. Take in the views from the Pier 6 Pavilion. If you like outdoor entertainment, then you will love the Pier 6 Pavilion. The building itself is incredibly beautiful, but the view you get of Inner Harbor is breathtaking. There are more than 4,000 hotel rooms within walking distance of the Pier 6 Pavilion, so if you are coming to the city to see a live show, why not make a trip out of it by staying somewhere close for the night? Since 1981, when the pavilion opened, it has seen performers across every genre on its stage. Even today, with many other choices of venue around, it still manages to attract the top names in the industry. 20. Visit the birthplace of America's first sporting celebrity. Even if you know nothing of baseball, you still would have heard of Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was a legendary baseball player and the first sporting celebrity in the USA. The Baltimore Orioles were the team that gave Ruth his first professional contract, and his birthplace is just 3 blocks away from Oriole Park. The museum has recently undergone a huge renovation that includes new galleries that tell the story of Babe Ruth. If you are a baseball fan of any team, then a trip to this museum will be one of the highlights of your trip. 21. Enjoy the Evergreen Museum and Library. Back when the railroads were making all those involved a lot of money, the Garrett family were top of the pile. So much so that they had the Evergreen Mansion built as their family home. The home is as opulent as it is mesmerizing. Set on 26 acres of lush greenery, this 48-room mansion is home to over 50,000 items from the Garrett's personal collection. There are fine and decorative arts to admire, rare books to see, and 2 generations worth of manuscripts. Often concerts are held during the summer months in the Basque Theatre and lectures put on in the Carriage House. 22. Discover how the American flag was created. The Flag House in Baltimore was where Mary Pickersgill sewed the garrison flag that was seen flying over Fort McHenry by Francis Scott Key. It was this flag that inspired him to write the national anthem of America. In 1927, the city of Baltimore purchased the property and a museum was established within the home. There is much to see and learn at the museum, and kids can get involved with many interactive activities as they learn about the flag's history. 23. Enjoy a diverse range of art at the Walters Art Museum. If you like art but you are not passionate about a particular period of time or type of work, then the Walters Art Museum will provide you with a great mixture of pieces. There is pre-dynastic Egyptian art, Greek sculpture and Roman sarcophagi. You can find Art Nouveau jewelry as well as European and American masterpieces. In total, there are approximately 30,000 pieces of work on display, and admission to the museum is completely free of charge. 24. Watch a foreign film at Charles Theater. The Charles Theater is the oldest cinema in Baltimore. Initially, the theater was designed as a streetcar barn before being relocated to Charles Street, where it now remains. The 5-screen theater shows a whole range of independent films as well as some of the major releases of today. Each year the theater holds the annual Maryland Film Festival, which attracts movie lovers from across the state. 25. Go to the top of the once tallest building in Baltimore. Between 1911 and 1923, Emerson Tower was the tallest building in Baltimore, standing at 88 meters tall and having 15 stories. It was designed by Joseph Evans Sperry, and the design was inspired by the Palazzo Vecchio in Florence, Italy. There are 4 clock faces near the top of the tower, one on each side of the building. The building was at one time abandoned, but it is now used as art studios and has the local fire station situated at the bottom. The building currently sits on the Register of National Historic Places. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.